But as I was saying, if you sit around like the hypocrites and the scribes and the Pharisees, and you're missing the mark. They didn't gain no souls. They only worry about people who was like them, other church folk. They only taught each other. They learn from each other. They start becoming just like one another. That's the problem that's happening in a lot of churches today. But that's the whole story about the prodigal son. He brought them out the world, and he showed them, come to me, and I will give you joy more abundantly. I will teach you how to enjoy yourself the right way. I will teach you how to enjoy yourself without perishing with the non-believers. You got to understand, in Sodom and Gomorrah, there weren't just sinners there. There were non-believers there. Why else would he destroy it? There were non-believers there, people who did not believe. You understand? You have no reason to be hanging around non-believers. Just because somebody sins, that does not mean they don't believe. I don't think people don't figure that out yet. You are after sinners who know they sinners and who believe. Because guess what? You can help them. You can't really help a non-believer. You understand? And you can't help it being overly righteous. Why destroy yourself? You can't help nobody like that. Been there, done that. And if people knew me back in 2010, they would tell you the same thing that I'm telling you right now. Houston was a mean, hateful, horrible person. Until God opened my eyes to the truth. And there's a lot of people in the church house and the church family right now that are just like that. Forever learning, never able to come to the realization of the truth. It's a difference between you and them. But in reality, there is no difference. Do you understand? The major difference between us and them is we have Jesus. They don't. But what's the difference from you and the sinner? Answer that question. Nothing. We all sin and fall short of the glory of God. We don't use that as a cloak to continue to do unlawful deeds, liars, and steal. We still abide by God's commandments, but we just grow as a person. We realize Jesus ministered to many adulteresses, murderers, thieves, liars. Judas hung with him. Peter was an angry man. Hey, put that sword down, man. Golly, Peter! Peter. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Hope you get it this time. Peter. Paul was a murderer. He still loved him. He became an apostle. So they say. But Paul was high-minded too. I don't care what nobody says. I read his words and I read how he talks. He's a high-minded preacher. You understand? He's a high-minded teacher. You understand? But that's something you got to figure out for yourself. God has everything in the Bible so you can say how not to be and how to be. That's why I say I always cross-reference the Bible with Jesus and how he was. If you're leaning more to Paul's teachings, try to lean more to Jesus. Can I tell you that? And take that and run with it now. You cross-reference Paul with who? Jesus. You don't use Paul to reference Jesus. I mean, Jesus to, what I'm trying to say. You don't base Paul's words off Jesus. You know what I'm trying to say. Confusing myself here. But do the math. That's not what you do. You don't do that. You understand? Your goal is not to do that. You understand? Everything got to come back to Jesus. He's the teacher. He's divine. And if you read a lot of times in Paul's teaching, he talks about be like me all the time, man. I don't want you to be like me. Be like Jesus. Don't be like me. Everybody called differently. You might not be designed to go to places I go. And I might not be designed to go to places you go and reach the people you reach. You understand? You have your calling, and I have mine. The thing is, he wants us to work together as a church body to realize we all work together. But we can't work together if we're too busy judging one another. But like I was saying, I'm going to tell you before, the Bible tells you what you can and cannot do specifically. It does. You know, but I see it all the time. These evangelical leaders, so I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do this. I don't do that. I drink. I smoke cigarettes. I do. And I'm not going to lie to you about it. Does that make me a bad person to you? Does it? But these people really trying to justify themselves say these things. Like, look at me. I don't indulge in that. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do this. Your temple is holy. Your temple is holy. God said, keep your temple holy. Then Jesus said, it's not what goes into a man that defiles a man, but what comes out of a man. You better listen. You better listen. People are judging what goes in more than what comes out. I don't care if you don't drink, but if you're a mean person, it's going to show. You understand? I've met people who drink, people who are on crack, people who are on meth, people who smoke marijuana, people who do all these things, and they are nice, good people, God-fearing people. Talk to them, loving, compassionate, help one another. Do it naturally. I'm just telling you, people, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Don't be like the prodigal son's brother. You understand? Don't be like that. Don't be like the Pharisees and the hypocrites. God wants you to enjoy yourself in this life. He does. There's a lot of things he don't want you to participate in. Pagan practices, pagan things. No, he don't. You don't have to enjoy yourself. You don't have to go to Mardi Gras, which you know is pagan, and enjoy yourself. You can enjoy yourself at home. Well, what makes you different from me? Because I'm respecting my God, and I'm not going to do this pagan crap. You understand? I didn't watch videos about people. Well, do you think God has a problem with Christmas? And they'll give the Christmas spiel, be like, well, Christmas was rooted in paganism, but I don't think God has a problem with you celebrating it. And you just said it's rooted in paganism. That makes no sense to me. But I don't think he has a problem with that. He said, you should not honor me like he was like, Christmas is not about Christ, but it's just a holiday we made. We made off of paganism. And do the math, man. I'm not trying to scare you to not enjoy yourself. You can eat and drink at your house and cook whatever kind of meal you want. But God doesn't want you to indulge in these pagan practices. If you know it's rooted in paganism, why do it as a Christian? Something's supposed to happen in your body. Like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Have a blessed day.